it is right for me today, as Prime Minister, to make a proper apology to the families of the 96 for all they have suffered over the past 23 years. Indeed, the new evidence that we're presented with today makes clear, in my view, that these families have suffered a double injustice. The injustice of the appalling events, the failure of the state to protect their loved ones, and the indefensible wait to get to the truth, and then the injustice of the denigration of the deceased, that they were somehow at fault for their own deaths. So on behalf of the government, and indeed our country, I am profoundly sorry that this double injustice has been left uncorrected for so long.
Those were the words of British Prime Minister David Cameron after the findings of an independent report into the Hillsborough disaster were revealed on Wednesday. On April 15, 1989, 96 Liverpool supporters lost their lives during an FA Cup semi-final with Nottingham Forest. They were crushed to death as thousands of extra supporters were allowed onto the overcrowded terrace. Friends and families of the victims have been campaigning for over 20 years for the truth to be revealed. And following a review of 450,000 previously unseen documents, the Hillsborough Independent Panel's report exposed a series of failings by the authorities. Failings that had, until now, been concealed from public knowledge for 23 years. Of the report's many findings, a swifter response from the emergency services could have saved more lives.
28 people had definite evidence that they didn't have obstruction of the blood flow. 16 people had definite evidence of the heart and lungs continuing to function for a prolonged period after the crush. In total 41, there is some overlap. 41 people therefore had evidence that they had potential to survive after the period of 3:15.
The report also revealed that strenuous attempts were made by police to deflect blame onto Liverpool supporters. Police statements were doctored in an attempt to disguise their failure to ensure supporter safety.
We found that 116 out of 164 were amended to remove or alter comments that were directly unfavourable to the South Yorkshire Police.
The police carried out blood alcohol readings on the deceased, including children, in a further bid to cover up their own failings. They're believed to have blamed hooliganism, drunkenness and animalistic behaviour for the disaster, as authorities and the government at the time tried to hide the truth.
You send your loved ones to go and watch a football match on the 15th of April 1989 in the sunshine. 96 of them never come home because catastrophic police failures have led to a loss of control at the ground and a major crush. If that wasn't bad enough, then there's a cover-up starts immediately afterwards in terms of the explanation that is given as to why that has happened.
There was no safety certificate. They breached the safety rules. That is the beginning of serious negligence, and there's a causation relationship here which the Director of Public Prosecutions would have to look at. So it seems to me that is the biggest and most obvious thing, compounded by what happened on the day. So there's more than the police here. It's not just the police. Sheffield Wednesday need to answer some questions, and the Sheffield authorities need to answer some questions on that score. So that's the big one.
As a prior to today, Hillsborough was the biggest disaster in British sporting history. I'd like to ask the two legal men here, have we just seen the biggest cover-up in British history?
The short answer to that, yes.
It may have taken 23 years for the truth to be revealed, but the campaign for justice is just beginning. Families and friends of the 96 will campaign for the original verdicts to be quashed and an entirely fresh inquiry to be opened.